सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यपरम्परम् ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 तपोभिः क्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्ष्योऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते बोधोऽन्यसाधनेभ्यो हि साक्षान्मोक्षैकसाधनं पाकस्य वह्निवज्ञानं विना मोक्षो न सिद्ध्यति अविरोधितया कर्म नाविद्यां विनिवर्तयेत् विद्या विद्यां निहन्त्येव तेजस्तिमिरसङ्घवत् परिच्छिन्न इव ज्ञानात् तन्नाशे सति केवलः स्वयं क्षते ह्यात्मा मेघापायेंशुमानिव अज्ञानकलुषं जीवं ज्ञानाभ्यासाद्धिनिर्मलं कृत्वा ज्ञानं स्वयं नश्येत् जलं कतकरेणुवत्. We saw some very beautiful verses. The opening is very beautiful and very complete. The opening of the, what is this? What is this text called? Atmabodha. The opening of the Atmabodha, very complete, very beautiful, and as I said, it's more of a summation of the teachings rather than introducing the teachings, because it assumes you know what is ajnanam, you know that ajnana is opposed to jnana, and you know it is jnana virodhi, and you also know that this ajnana is removed by jnana vritti, the vritti in the form of the teachings. And that vritti, very beautiful example was given. What about this vritti? It is like the kataka dust, kataka plant powder, the plant powder or the root powder, which was an ancient way of purifying water. So all the mud and every other thing, it used to, you pour this dust on top of the water, and then it's a very beautiful example, because the dust then turns into a slimy film, which, because it is heavier than the water, goes inside the water, which first it is on the surface of the water, then it goes inside the water. As it's traveling to the bottom, what does it do? It traps all the silt, mud and dust, renders the water pure to drink. So then what was the water before? Dusty, muddy. And what did you use to take out the dust? Another dust called kataka renu. So similarly, the dust of ajnanam is removed by vritti jnanam. So ajnanam itself is a vritti. It's a long-standing vritti, which has morphed into what? Anyatha jnanam. We saw the difference between ajnanam and anyatha jnanam. What is anyatha jnanam? Since I don't know myself, I take myself to be what I am, or what am I not? What I am not. I'm not an idiot, but I frequently conclude what? I'm an idiot. And then I'm not unloved, but then what do I say? I am unloved. I'm not victimized. What do I say? Everybody is treating me badly. This is the problem. And so therefore the whole thing here is this anyatha jnanam, which is in the series, which is portrayed in the mind with a series of notions, very strong notions, long-standing notions. So the notion of ajnanam, the notional ajnanam, which is how? Notion means how is it manifest? It is manifest in the form of thought. And so the thought, I am not okay, is replaced by what? The thought, I am the whole. That I am the whole message is also given in the form of a thought. I am the whole is not a thought, but it is the reality. But that reality has to be conveyed in the form of a thought, because the thought of what I am not has to be dismissed by this vritti of Satchidanandakara vritti, Brahmakara vritti. Akara means in that form. Like supposing I want to know pot, then Patakara vritti happens in the head. So we are used to this. So if I want to know flower, Flavarakara vritti is there in the mind. And everything is known through vritti only. That's how the mind works. And so this jnanam, the limitless jnanam, is conveyed in the form of a thought. It's not that Satchidananda is a thought. Don't think of it this way. Satchidananda is not a thought. What is Satchidananda? You. You are Satchidananda, but you don't know. Since you already are Satchidananda and you are the self-evident, self-conscious, self-luminous, Swatasiddha Vastu, then what does the Satchidananda thought do? Satchidananda thought repatriates you with yourself. Why? Because you are self-evident. This is how vritti jnanam works. Very, very powerful verse and a very apt example. So just like another, you have a dirty glass of water full of silt, mud, etc., like the Ganga water which we get. You have to wait for it to settle before you can give it for tirtha or abhisheka in the rain. So in the olden days, they didn't do that. What did they do? They sprinkled some more dirt on top of it in the form of the dust of this plant, and then that dust would take care of this dust. And that dust would self-destruct, and after having taken care of this dust. Similarly here, the series of vrittis, which are the morphings or the reproductions of ajnanam, the effects of ajnanam in the sense of anyatha jnana vritti. I have mistaken myself to be small, to be the effect, to be not Bhagavan. All these mistakes are there. To be as good as the body. And since the body undergoes the 6 varieties of what is that? Vikaras, I also say I am Shadvikari. You are not Shadvikari, but you think you are Shadvikari. So therefore, what does this vritti jnanam do? To him or her, to the individual jiva who is already Satchidananda, the knowledge of Satchidananda is communicated in the form of the thought. It lands where? It lands at that self-revealing, self-identified, swaprakasha consciousness which is you, so that the mistake is corrected. Since the mistake is in the form of the thought, the correction is also how? in the form of the thought. But that we should not say Satchidananda is a thought. No. Satchidananda is you. And so, in the Upadesha Sahasri, one very beautiful example is given. This Rama Lord Rama took on avatara of being a king, a prince, a sad prince, because his life was not a picnic. Very sad life, 14 years of, forest life. Yeah, at least now we are spared because there are no forests, so nobody can have forest life. 14 years of forest life. Wife gets abducted. Then you have to go and and fight with the king to get the wife, the enemy king, to get the wife back. The life was not a picnic for him. But in order to be an avatara, what does one have to do? One is what the Mandukya Upanishad calls Ubhayataf Prajna. Antaf Prajna, like inwardly aware of who one is. Bahish Prajna, outward facing awareness, inward facing awareness. And then we have one more thing called Ubhayataf Prajna, both inward and outward. Inwardly, Rama knows, Krishna knows, Buddha knows, I am playing a role. And then yet outwardly what are they doing? Going, not only playing the role, but completely plunging into the role. Totally plunging into the role. Rama, for example, hugs. He was the first tree hugger in history. After Sita is lost, he hugs every tree and cries, have you seen my Sita? Have you seen my Sita? Where is my Sita? Have you seen my Sita? He cries. That's part of the role. It's in the script. If you are a sad husband, you have to cry. That's part of the script. Yeah. I said cry, not laugh, okay? Yeah. But that's part of the role. You have to cry. And he performs his role completely. And then after the Lanka Adhipati, Ravana is vanquished. After he is sent packing, and then Vibhishana is installed in the kingdom. After Sita is retrieved, after Pattabhisheka takes place, what happens? He gets a reminder, a gentle reminder in the form of a pat on the back by the people, the sages, who know he is Avatara. So they tap him on the back and say, Rama, wake up. Yes, you have performed this role wonderfully. You have done everything that you were supposed to do. Now it's time to finish up this avatara. So just like that, just a little tap on the back, little reminder is enough for Rama to say, okay, this was just a role play. The whole life was a role play, not for myself, but for establishing dharma. Rama is the avatara of dharma. So here too, the one who is Satchidananda and has what? In the throes of the everyday, as though forgotten that one is Satchidananda momentarily, through a thought, through a little tap of the Shastra, is reminded in the form of Vritti Jnanam, you are Satchidananda. Satchidananda being yourself, the Vritti can destroy itself, leaving in its wake the pure consciousness, like the Kataka Renu destroys the dust in the impurities in the water, destroys itself and leaves in its wake pure water. Very beautiful verse. Next two verses are also very, very nice, wonderful. Samsara swapna tulyo hi Ragadveshadi Sankulaha Swakale Satyavad Bhati Prabodhe Satya Sadbhavet samsarasvapnatulyo hi ragadveshadisankulah swakale satyavadbhati prabodhe satyasadbhavet. What is this samsara? If we ask a person, anybody off the street, you catch hold of them. Hello, 1 minute, excuse me. What is samsara? Their whole demeanor will go like this. Oh, don't ask. Full of sorrows, aches and pains, and where to start, and everywhere conflict, everywhere this. Whatever I want, I don't get. Whatever I don't want, I get 2 helpings of that. This is samsara, they will tell. But enlightened masters, like the authors of this, work, some Shankaracharya, what does he say? Samsaraha swapnatulyaha swapnavat. Like even the dream. In the dream, there are people chasing you, 3 fellows, and each one looks very big, and each one looks more dangerous than the other. All 3 are chasing. You don't know what they want, but they are after you. You don't know what even you have done in the dream. They are after you. And you run, you outrun them, and then what? You fall off the bed, okay? Because you are also running in the bed. You fall off the bed with the thud, and then what happens? You wake up. Oh, where am I? Oh, the bed is over here. I'm here. And then you calm yourself down, drink some water, get back on the bed. And then you understand it's a dream. Do you still continue to run? What happened to the running? Gone. What happened to the 3 fellows? Gone. Who are these 3 fellows? Prarabdha, Sanchita and Agami. Various forms of karmas that are after you. The one who thinks I am subject to karma is a samsari. So when you wake up from the dream, no matter how terrifying the dream was, what do you see at the end? It was just false, mrisha. Mrisha. Mrisha means it is like the bubbles. In some renditions, there is one more verse in between this and this. And there it says that the whole universe is projected. How? Like even budbudaniva varini. Like the ocean water, you see this, when the wave comes with a big force, and then when it goes back, what does it leave? Lot of foam, pena, budbuda. Budbuda is onomatopoeic. Budbuda means bubbles. Bud, one bud, it appears, another bud, it disappears. Budbuda, that which appears and disappears in the form of various bubbles. The bubbles are on the surface of the water, but then they are not intrinsic to the water. They arise with the water, are sustained by the water and resolve into the water. Just like that, this whole universe, and it's going to be told again later, this whole universe arises, is sustained and gets resolved where? In the Atma. That's why it's called Atmabodha. It's all about the Atma. So this samsara, no matter how real it feels, is what? Swapnatulyaha, swapnavat, like a bad dream. Why are you so negative? Why can't you say samsara is a good dream? If samsara were a good dream, there would be no need for 3-month course. Yeah. We can keep enjoying the good dream. There is no reason for Vedanta. All the Swamis would be unemployed. Really. That's why we have to say samsara is what? Bad dream, not a good dream. It's not a good dream. If it were a good dream, neither I nor you would be here. If it were a good dream. It's a bad dream. It's a nightmare. So the nightmare called samsara is what? It's a nightmare because there is bheda. What is the bheda? Jiva jivayoho bheda. Between one jiva and another jiva, bheda. And this is all going to be talked about. One person thinks in the verse 12 or 11 or 12, 10 or 11 it's going to be talked about. One person thinks, I am Brahmana, I have status. Another thinks I am Kshatriya, I have better status. And another thinks I am an engineer. All these are what? Samsara. Every notion other than the reality I am Satchidananda Atma Brahmatma is samsara. Samsara is also what? Notional. Even though we keep saying ocean of samsara, what is it? Notion of samsara. And that which makes the ocean into a notion is this Vidya, Brahma Vidya. Mirabai sings about it very beautifully. Mori lagi lagana Guru Charanan ki jhoota maya sab sapanan ki. I have a great attachment to the feet of the Guru because everything else is what? Just a dream. Tulya, sapna tulya, swapna tulyavat, swapnavat. So, everything is just a bad dream, it's all lies, false, mrisha, mithya. Then why did you go to the Guru's feet? Because I wanted swimming lessons. How to swim and keep afloat in the ocean of samsara. Should I do front stroke? Should I do back stroke? Should I do butterfly stroke? How should I do it? Because without this swimming lesson, I feel like I'm having a stroke in samsara. What should I do? And she says, the Guru was so great, so good, so powerful that Bhavasagar sab sukh gaya hai. After the teaching, what happened? The ocean of samsara, Bhavasagara, the ocean itself, the Guru dried up. With his warm, compassionate gaze. She had a Guru, Ramdas was his name. So the Guru, with his warm, compassionate gaze, dried up the ocean of samsara, so that what? There was no need for swimming. Ulat bhai mohe nayanan ki. He turned around my vision of division by declaring the ocean to be but a notion. If samsara is not an ocean, why do I have to swim? Why do I need a boat? Why do I need to cross it? Why do I need to become cross for that matter? None of this is needed. Meera ke Prabhu Giridhar Nagar Ulat bhai mohe nayanan ki Mori lagi lagan Guru Charanan ki. Very famous song which is all Vedanta, which talks about this. Vedanta is a non-Sanskrit Vedanta. There are many such things. All the songs of the Bhakti movement saints, all their kritis, their couplets, their songs full of Vedanta. The songs which women sing while churning the butter, while pounding the mirchi. What is mirchi? Peppers, chilies, masala. Other people, it's not for the faint of heart. Other people will be running away. The Indian women are singing. Singing what? Vedanta songs. Really. This is there in everything. Everything. There is one Rajasthani song, very nice. So this woman is gone to get firewood for her daily use, and while she is there in the forest picking up the twigs and all, tying them into the bundle, she sees a beautiful parrot. And she talks to the parrot, "Come home with me." I'll put you in a golden cage and look after you. And what does the parrot also responds in song? The parrot says, the golden cage is still a cage. I am free. But my question is, what kind of a cage are you living in? It asks back. Very beautiful. So like this, Vedanta is there in every single thing. Even our sweets, I have told you, are Vedantic. Why? Because you have a bland dough. You need the dough. You need it, and then you roll it out, and then you have this fantastic ball of calories filling. It's so sweet, wonderful. It's full of coconut, jaggery, cardamom, saffron. And then what do? In this bland dough you fill it, and then you pinch the top, you pinch it closed. And depending on the state of your stomach, into the steamer it goes or into the fryer it goes. And then what you have? Modaka. Modaka means that which makes you happy. Modaka doesn't make you happy. What makes you happy is the filling inside. That sweet coconutty filling. Nuts also you can put, and then that filling makes you happy. When we were children, I would wonder, how did this get into that? How did it get into that? It was magic. And the mothers would not tell. They would say it's magic. It somehow got into that. And then as children, what would we do? We would remove the outer layer, throw it, and eat this thing. What is this called? Purna. Purna means what? Full, filling. That is what is filling. That is Satchidananda. This is Upadhi, Nama Rupa. And as children, we were born Vedantins, I suppose. We used to take out the outer thing when the elders were not looking and do swaha to only the filling. That's what Vedanta is everywhere. In every grain of this culture, it is there. It is there in the sweets, it is there in the mode of worship, it is there in the folk songs, it is all pervasive. And so, and what does it say? Every form, in whether it's in Sanskritam or vernacular languages, whatever it is, it all says one thing and one thing alone: samsaraha swapnatulyaha. That is the message. Do not take life too seriously. Because why? It does not happen on your time frame. Whose time frame does it happen? Bhagavan's time frame. So you may want something yesterday. When will you get it? In the next life. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we don't know. Don't quote me on it in the next life. In the next life, don't come back and say, you said I'll get it now. Where is it? That is how it is. So, whatever you want, it is not in your hands. We have seen this also in great detail in the Bhagavad Gita. It is in Bhagavan's hands. In other words, it is in the hands of your karmic profile. And your karmic profile is not handled and updated by you. Your Facebook profile you update. Yes. WhatsApp profile you update. Karmic profile, who updates? Ishvara. Bhagavan updates your karmic profile. And so, the lesson for people in India, and also anybody who comes to India, who dares to come to India, is that by some way or the other, you get a Vedanta lesson in the first few weeks of being here. But people who don't understand that it's a Vedanta lesson go away frustrated, and they will write in their blog, oh, nothing works in India, nothing, no this thing, no efficiency, nobody does anything. People, I don't know why people are like this. I know why people are like this, because they rely on Bhagavan. The reliance of Bhagavan is complete, full and total. They know somehow it will get done. How? Don't ask. Somehow it will get done. From the person, the bureaucrat sitting with a mountain of files in a dusty office. The files, one time I went, I saw this, the files were almost up to the fan. So even in the dustiest of offices, with all the files piled high, they know it will get done. Somehow life is being led. And people don't take stuff too seriously. And what happens? It's a very wonderful lesson on letting go. And those people who are able to let go, and in fact we need this lesson more than anybody else. We need to learn how to let go and let things be. And when we get this teaching, then what happens? Karma lets go of you. When you get this teaching of letting go, karma also says, okay, I am letting go. It's a very interesting paradox. Vedanta is full of paradoxes. So within the few weeks of coming to India, every non-Indian, what do they understand very quickly? Swapna tulyo hi, samsaraha. You learn to not take things seriously. And you learn to do two things. You learn to not expect what should be expected, number one, and you learn to expect the unexpected, number two, and then you are very, very, very happy. Yeah. That's why people don't, people let things be, because they know that there is Bhagavan. It's not laziness. It's not laziness. It may be the effects of colonization to a certain extent, but it's also a deep, deep Shraddha that everything is going as it needs to. And I am not indispensable. Sometimes you take it to great lengths, and that's why they may be, it should not be taken to great lengths. I am indispensable, I am not indispensable, okay. Therefore, I need not do my Swadharma, not okay. But everything that happens need not be taken seriously. Why? It's like a dream. You can ask yourself, what would happen if this did not happen? The answer will always be nothing. The true answer. After going through a little tsunami in the heart, you come to what conclusion? Nothing will happen, everything is sthane. The word sthane, indeclinable, in place. Arjuna uses this when he is frightened out of his wits in the 11th chapter. Sthane hrishikesha tava prakirtya jagat prahrishyati anurajyate cha. Everything is because of you, O Bhagavan. And whatever happens is in place, is meant to be. That doesn't mean I should not do my Swadharma and say, okay, this is meant to be. No, I need to do my Swadharma and then let go. Samsaraha swapnastulyo hi. And what are the ingredients of this swapna? What is the second line? What are the ingredients? Read. Ragadvesha adipadat kama krodha lobha moha mada matsarya, you have to bring in. Sankulaha. Sankulaha means a disturbed mess. A disturbed mess, an afflicting mess of ragadvesha. Think about it. What is samsara? Being assailed by your own ragadvesha, that is half of samsara. Only half? What's the other half? What's the other half? Being affected by other people's ragadvesha. Another half. That comprises samsara. Half the time I am hating the fact that I have ragadveshas and I am succumbing to them. I should know better. I am a jignasu. I am a mumukshu. I am a Vedantin. But I am behaving as though I am Vedant out. out of Vedanta. Half the time I am frustrated by my own ragadveshas, because the moment I fulfill one, like Rakta Bijasura, one demon was there. He had to be killed without shedding any blood. Even if one blood drop was dropped on the floor, thousands of clones like him would come up, immediately fully grown. Ragadveshas are like that. One you try to placate and give it a hug and a kiss. Okay. Then what will happen? You thought you had one baby, suddenly they have become quadruplets. 4 babies are crying now. Then 4 babies, you have to calm down. And then from 4 they go straight to 24 babies. What to do now? Very difficult. And so therefore we have to see that this samsara, half the time it frustrates me because of whose ragadveshas? My own ragadveshas. Then I come under the crosshairs of other people's ragadveshas. Other people's ragadveshas I come under the crosshairs of. So that means what? I have to not be affected by my own ragadveshas and not be affected by other people's ragadveshas. In fact, the other people's ragadveshas are not a problem if my own ragadveshas are not a problem. Otherwise there is a hook. My own ragadveshas cast a net, and the ragadveshas that match with me become my Facebook friends and become my circle. The ragadveshas that do not match with me, what happens? I become like a bison butting heads with the other bunch of ragadveshas. Each person is nothing but a bunch of ragadveshas, as is shown when you do a, what is that called? There are all these matrimonial sites on the web. What is it called? Shadi.com, etc. Then what do you write? You write all your ragadveshas. That's what you write. Yeah, I like to go hiking. I don't like horror movies. One raga, one dvesha, finished, correct? And then I like to read. I like to do this. I like to do that, but I don't like this, that. And then you feed it to the computer. And then the computer matches you with similar ragadveshavan somewhere. That's what it does. In fact, people are not getting married. Ragadveshas are getting married to one another. That's why the marriage doesn't work. Why? The ragadveshas grow up, the ragadveshas die off, new ragadveshas come. That's why it is. It's one bunch of ragadveshas marrying another bunch of ragadveshas. By who? These people who say, oh, arranged marriage, terrible, you don't even know anybody. Here what? Here, at least in arranged marriage, we have horoscopes. The horoscopes go for a date in the astrologer's house. Yes, they meet. Horoscope means what? Bhagavan. We see we see the compatibility not based on ragadveshas, but based on karma, based on Bhagavan. That is what it is. And here we just, the person who is very skeptical of arranged marriages feeds the ragadveshas into the computer and waits for the profiles to be matched. And then you look at the profiles and then what? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, this one sounds nice. Why? 99% match. For how long? That's what the question should be. How long do the ragadveshas last? Oh, some ragadveshas last lifelong. Some of them, yes. Most of them do not last at all. If they were to last, then you would be eating what you ate at 2 years old. Are you eating what you ate at 2 years old? No. Many things you did not like at 2 years old, now you are eating. Many foods you would not even try, You would say, no, this looks icky, I am not going to eat this. And now you are enjoying many things you were eating, you were drinking. Like feeding bottle was very delightful at age 1. Now, do you have raga for feeding bottle? Yeah, if so, don't tell me. Okay? Yeah. Nobody has raga for feeding bottle. And then like this, raga dveshas keep changing, keep growing, keep morphing. That is what samsara is. Every relationship, every friendship, every coming, every going is because of raga dvesha. That's why nothing in samsara stays. Nothing stays. Keeps going, keeps changing, keeps morphing, everything. The Vartikakara, Sureshwaracharya, direct disciple of Adi Shankara, writes the Vartika means a commentary in prose for the various Upanishads, and in his Brihadaranyaka Vartika he writes this. It is in the third Brahmana, Maitreyi Yagyamalkya dialogue. He says, Sarve samyogaha viyogantaha nashvaram hi sarvam. Sarve samyogaha. All the coming togethers are what? Viyogantaha, are until parting takes place. Every union is until separation. This is a very beautifully put verse. Sarve samyogaha viyogantaha sarve samyogaha. All coming together is till the one drifts apart. What is the cause of drifting apart? If you are Atma and I am Atma and he is Atma and she is Atma, between one Atma and the other Atma, is there any drifting apart? No. Is there any coming together? No. It's all one. So what comes together? Raga dveshas. What drifts apart? Raga dvesha. All these ideas, I don't like this, I like this. Pujya Swamiji used to say this very well. First 3 months after marriage, maybe 6 months, we should be generous. First 6 months after marriage, oh, I love you. And then after that what? I allow you to be away. We need some space. We need space? The other one says. Why? Why do we need space? No, we need space. So what to do? I think I should go join a 3-month course. So we can just have the right amount of space. So all coming together is because of Ragadvesha. All falling apart is because of Ragadvesha. This is clearly seen even in the Manisha Panchakam. Adi Shankara bathed in the Varanasi Ghat, came out, and all the students around him very zealous. Students become very possessive and zealous of guarding the teacher. And they saw one funeral groundskeeper coming. Funeral groundskeeper means dealing with bodies, dead bodies, bodily fluids, etc., cremation, all these things. Considered unclean because he was coming to take bath. And what was Shankara? Shankara had already taken bath. So the students said, Gacha Gacha, important personage, Acharya is coming, Gacha Gacha. Be careful when you say Gacha Gacha, because the other person might be what? Vedantin. First of all, what does Gacha Gacha mean? Go away, go away. Get out of here. Make way, go away. And Mr. Gacha Gacha said, what are you trying to Gacha Gacha? Are you trying to Gacha Gacha this body which is full of what? Food, which is a modification of food. From that body which you say is very pure and holy, that is also what? Full of food. This may have eaten 4-legged and 2-legged things, that may be living on, that body is living on roots and fruits and berries, but still it is what? Product of food. That is also product of food. So are you trying to banish one or distance, one product of food from the other product of food. Annamayad annamayam kimva chaitanyat chaitanyam kim duri kartum vanchasi tvam. What are you trying to distance? One body from another body. This is also a spoof. Why? Your body is made up of what? Food and 5 elements. The other person's body is also made up of 5 elements, food and all these things. So how to distance? 5 elements are all over the place. How can you distance? Or maybe you are really too smart and you are distancing one consciousness from another consciousness. Can you do that? No. So then Adi Shankara falls at his feet. The one who has this wisdom is Chandalostu, sa Guruhu Astu. Let that person be a Chandala, funeral groundskeeper, let them be a Guru. But doesn't matter. Or Dvija. Dvija means let them be a Brahmana, let them be a Chandala. Guruhu Astu. This person has got that wisdom because of how they are talking, and he falls at the feet of this Chandala, which the story says is supposed to be Lord Shiva in disguise. But that apart, what does this? What does the Manisha Panchakam, the opening verse of the Manisha Panchakam, what does it teach us? It teaches us that any distance is because of what? Ragadvesha. Ragadvesha, Deha Abhimana, Raga for the body and the status. I am somebody. My body is purer than all bodies. Or my body is more important than your body. And if my body is more important than your body, what should I do? I should look down upon all other bodies. I should expect everybody to pay homage to this body. This is wrong. This is very much wrong, totally wrong. Because all bodies are what? Nothing but Atma. Bodies, if you look at it separately, then it's a product of 5 elements. All bodies are product of 5 elements. All bodies are products of Panchakoshaha. All bodies are finite. All bodies go through 6 vikaras. Then why are you celebrating your body and denigrating some other body? Ragadvesha. Ragadvesha, that's why one gets angry, that's why one gets jealous, that's why one gets upset, that's why one gets all kinds of fears. So therefore, Swapnatulyaha, all this goes away when you see the ephemeral nature of samsara. Especially if it is a very strong emotion, an emotion that you can't catch because it has caught hold of your heart and is wringing your heart in opposite directions. Know that it is even more Swapnatulya. Sleep it off. Don't react in the moment because you are fighting with shadows. Like that character, Don Quixote. There was one character in the Spanish writer who made up this character, who was always fighting with shadows. Do not fight with shadows. There is nothing to fight about. There is nothing to get upset. There is nothing to get reactive. This reactivity, this upset is all part of this dream-like samsara. Ragadveshadi sankulaha. This much if it is understood, then the next 2 lines become easy. Why is it so difficult to get rid of? Swakale, in its own time, when I am undergoing this, what do I feel? It is Satyam. Satyavat bhati. It shines like the truth. Swakale Satyavat bhati. What also Swakale Satyavat bhati? Dream. In the dream, if somebody tapped you on the shoulder and said, don't take this seriously, don't get frightened, it is just a dream, will you believe them? No. You won't believe them. You are in the dream, you are shaking, you are upset, you are cracking open, and you feel like there is a terrible dream. You are running, you are flailing, you are crying, you are screaming. Where? In the dream. And if somebody said, shh, it's not really happening, settle down, it's just a dream, you will scream at them also. What do you mean it's just a dream? And so when do you know that samsara is a dream? When it shines as though it is very, very real. Swakale, in the time of being trapped in the sankula, in the enmeshment of raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, etc., it seems very real. There is fire coming out of the fellow's ears. It seems very real. Anger is there. They show all these things in comic. Fire coming out of the ears. And then the eyes are green. The whole face is green with jealousy. We see this in comics. That also appears to be very real. Eyes are red like embers. Anger. Then the person is melting in sorrow, distress, despair. All these things seem so real. This one did this to me. Other people's omissions and commissions are affecting me. I am victimized. Very real. This one cut in front of the lunch line. Very real. How could they do that? Don't they know there is a line? How could they come in front of me? The mind is very, very agitated. At that time, what should we do? Take a few deep breaths and then understand one important thing. So suppose I survive, tell yourself, to be 90. Let's say you are 45 now and you have 45 years more to survive, and then every day you are going to have lunch. So 365 lunches, okay? So 1 year full of lunches multiplied by 45, do the math, okay? In the head or on the calculator or on paper. So if one lunch was, not that you didn't get the lunch, you got the lunch but somebody cut in front of you, the experience of one lunch was disturbed, are you going to lose it for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week? Ask yourself that simple question. Same thing you can do to help yourself in any kind of a fix, with any kind of an emotion, with any kind of a person. First you have to say, does this belong to me or is this their problem? It's always never their problem. They will be my part and they will be the other person's part. Objectively, after breathing, after calming oneself down, you have to say, what is my part? You have to see, okay, I should not have reacted. I could have just let this go. Now also, I can make some amends. I can let this go. This is one thing we can do. And then what about their part? Is that your problem? Or is somebody else's emotions your problem? Don't scare me. Is it your problem? No. It's not your problem. There's nothing to think about it. Okay, let me see if it is my problem or not. It's not your problem. Other person's problem. Let them resolve. Oh, but they are not resolving. That also is their problem. If they are not resolving, are you their mummy? No. Are you their daddy? No. Sit quietly. You can just be responsible for your emotions. Not other people's, oh, but they are my loved ones. Doesn't matter. This is what is called the hook, the enmeshment. One ragadvesha gets embroiled in the other ragadveshas and then nothing good can result. Swakale satyavat bhati, here he is talking about the dream. In its time, the dream shines as real, and then the darshtanta, what is exemplified, is also the same truth prevails here as well. In its time, samsara, when I am not seeing it as samsara, what does it shine as? Real. Everything is real. My ragadvesha is real. The other person's ragadvesha is real. OMG, 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 constantly one is going around. But then what happens to the dream? Prabodhe sati, when you wake up, bodha, when the bodha happens, prabodhe sati, Prabhate sati. Prabhate sati means in the morning when you wake up. Prabodhe sati. Prabhate sati for the dream. Prabodhe sati for this nightmare, the living, waking nightmare. We should call it daymare. The daymare of samsara when you wake up. So what is it that wakes you up from the dream? A cup of coffee. What is it that wakes you up from samsara? Mahavakya coffee. That is the coffee in the form of Mahavakya, which makes samsara, a coffee that makes samsara go offy. Okay? Yes. Mahavakya coffee, when you smell, you wake up. Tattvamasi coffee. Very nice. Nicely ground by the sampradaya, nicely ground, nicely percolated, aromatic, irresistible Shastra coffee. And then in front of this Shastra coffee, samsara, dream, nightmare dies away. Samsara nightmare dies away. Prabodhe sati, upon waking up, upon gaining this understanding that I am free of ragadveshas, I am limitless, whole, Satchidananda, I am Brahmatma. I don't have emotions. I am free of all the emotions. I am the one who has given birth, as it were. I project the emotions. The emotions do not have a reality separate from me. Therefore, they cannot attack me. The ragadveshas do not have a reality other than me. All that is mithya, a projected reality. Then I am the projector. The projector is free from whatever it projects. And so therefore, I am free of this samsara nightmare. This, what is that? This Shastra Upadesha is that which wakes one up. And then further, the teaching says, Tavat satyam jagad bhati shuktika rajatam yatha yavat na jnayate brahma sarvadhishthana advayam. You can take the first line and the third line for the purport of this verse. Tavat, until that time, satyam jagat bhati. The jagat, the whole jagat of names and forms shines as though it is real until that time, and then go straight to the third line. Yavat, until which time, na jnayate, is not known. What? Brahman. Jagat shines as real, ragadvesha shines as real, kama krodha shines as real, and then that I have a sense of lack, that I am not getting what I want, that I am miserable, sorrow, fear, all these shine as real until Brahman is not known. And then, until Brahman is not known, not only does the Jagat shine as real, the longings also shine as real. That I have a sense of lack centered on me, that I am a wanting person, is a superimposition upon that Atma which is free of superimposition, just like the silver superimposed upon the worthless piece of mother of pearl puts one in a frenzy, and you have a running race with other people on the sand because you see it there, you think it is silver, the person next to you thinks it is silver, the person on this side of you think it is silver, all of you run towards it, yes, 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 I want it. And when you go see it, what happens? The Shuktika is seen, the Rajat which was portrayed on the Shuktika, projected on the Shuktika, mother of pearl, Rajat, silver. What happened to the silver? It went away. Where did it go away? It went away, same place where the snake went away when the rope was seen, same place. back into your head. The silver goes back into your head, and then the snake also is withdrawn, the projection is withdrawn. Why? In the wake of the knowledge, this nightmarish projection associated with the Jagat is also withdrawn. Very beautiful verse. We'll see it tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadagya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.